All right, number 6 on my list is Mario Party. I think there's probably been like 9 or 10 games at this point, which in some ways I think kind of hurts the nostalgia a little bit, but there's something, just like with Harvest Moon, there's something different about this first game, I think, which kind of makes us hold on to some of the memories and events. So yeah, what do you think? What makes this game nostalgic to you? What makes Mario Party, first one, nostalgic to you?
Oh, Mario Party. Mario Party, the friendship ruiner. At least for other people. That's always what it's called. Like, everyone's like, oh, don't play this game with your friends because you'll get in a fight. And part of the reason why maybe I never really had too much of an issue with it, because I'm pretty sure I won, like, every time. I'm just the best at Mario Party. Number one Mario Party 1 player. Number one. But really, that game has to do with just it being pure competitive everything.
Mm-hmm.
You would go around the board, then you do your mini game, and you have to get in the mindset, oh, I gotta beat these people. And sometimes what'd be really cool about it is you go from a free-for-all game, the next game you're in a team game, and you're like, all right, now we're teamed up, we gotta beat the other two now. And then there you have the 3v1, so 3 of you are like, all right, we're gonna beat you. And then so it's really a game of all about being in a room with 3 other people. You need the full 4. You need 4 people.
Always.
And it's being in the same room with your three best friends and just playing that game and then yelling at each other and doing everything like that. That's my favorite part about that game.
I mean, that's basically the key to every N64 game, was the 4-player, and that's something that it still pretty much holds to this day, the 4-player. I know, like, with Xbox, you had, like, the multiple systems hooking up, and you had something similar going on with, like, Halo and stuff, but it was never quite the same, especially, I think, for people who were really young, could never really pull that off. But with Mario Party specifically, I really liked what you mentioned about the 2-player and the 4-player games. I feel like even if you were losing every game, which apparently I was, I had to check back my stats on that. We weren't really live streaming back then, so I don't really remember too much. But it's just like, you know, when you were working in a 2v2, you were in the game again. When you were doing 3v1, you were in the game again. There was a new mini game, and you could come back. Something else could happen. You were still in the game. There was no being knocked out completely.
Yeah, and then it was a game of at least some luck. So even if someone was really good, you could. I said I won all the time. I still lost occasionally due to the RNG of that game. Sometimes a star would appear right in front of your opponent, and they would get an easy star off you, or the boo in that game. That's a sad time right there. When someone steals your star 50 coins, there would be many arguments over that. You better not steal my
Better
star.
not steal my star, man.
If you steal my star, we'll steal your star.
Steal your star back. Another thing that comes up with me, a memory in particular with Mario Party is, of course, the Shy Guy minigame. In which you could do in the hut, which wasn't a part of the main game, but it's kind of like a little side game you could play. And basically, you'd rotate your joystick to spin this little spinner, and then he would fly a certain amount of time, depending on how many times you rotated. And so on the N64 controller, the strategy was to dig your palm into the joystick and rotate your entire hand. And this thing is solid plastic. There is no
rubber.
No rubber.
All plastic.
And so this developed a thing where it actually started digging into your hand and you get blisters. And this was like a real issue in the world that we had to be concerned about. And that's one reason why no Mario Party will have that same thing as the original, because that just will never happen again.
I mean, that was the only way to spin that thing fast enough. You could not spin it with your thumb. You had to use your palm and dig it in there as hard as you can, so it's nice and tight. And then you roll it around, and by the end of that, whatever, I think you spin for 10 seconds, your palm would be so sore. And then you hand it off to someone else, and someone else would do it. And then you go in a circle. And by the end of the night, someone would have a giant red mark on their palm just from spinning that thing. I mean, it was such a big deal that Nintendo offered like free gloves for people that like hurt their hands. Like, you
I think I heard about that.
Free gloves to get it. But obviously, another really nostalgic part about Mario Party is the very specific mini games. There's mini games that you flew in on, and one of our favorites of pretty much me and all my friends was always Bumper Ball.
Bumper Ball. It's a terrible game, but
it was a terrible game. The more we played, the more we realized how we shouldn't ever lose. It should always be a draw, and It's so much so that people started doing risky strategies. Like,
Yeah.
I'm on the edge.
I'm on the edge. Come get me.
You're like, no, dude.
It's basically the original "Come at me, bro." Basically,
Yeah.
with
And,
bumper balls.
So there's bumper balls. There were some other games that I remember the slot car racer one.
Oh,
At the beginning
yeah.
of that game, I was always so bad at it. And then I remember one of my friends developed a strategy and got really good at it. I was like, oh my goodness, like I got to get better at this game. So I started getting better at it. And that was one of those games when I first started, I was terrible, and then got a little bit of strategy. And what's some other games? There's too many good ones.
Well,
There's a ton of good.
I mean, there was like that one kind of themed game where you would either have to cut out the shape or put the face
Yeah.
in the right.
I loved both those.
Yeah.
Games. I was dominant at both.
Got to make
Cut
the
out
face
the-
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some other great ones. That was just a good game overall. It was obviously the most simple of all the Mario parties. Every Mario party after that added more and more stuff. Added, in my opinion, a lot more luck with special items and whatnot. That made it a little more luck based, in my opinion. But I mean, I didn't play a huge amount. I still always enjoyed all the Mario parties, but Mario Party 1 will always be my favorite Mario Party that I have the most nostalgia for. And I mean, that's probably a big part of the reason why it's my favorite. It's just the
Nice.
nostalgia.
Yeah, it made it on my list, so there you go. I had to cut it down too. I had a few other games on there. So anything else with Mario Party, you think? Anything we missed?
I played Mario Yoshi. They're the best, and I'm the best Mario Party player. So done.
Done.
Okay, really quickly, back to Mario Party. I thought of one last thing.
Okay, let's go back.
The only thing that I don't think we ever did was when you chose a map, you could always choose how many turns you wanted.
Oh,
it was
yes.
always the longer games. We basically exclusively played 20 turn
Yes,
games,
20.
which I felt were plenty long enough. But then there was 35, and then a 50 turn game. That's over double the amount of like the normal game. It's already over an hour, and we always joke. We'd be like, all right, one of these days we're gonna play a 50 turn game, and I don't think we ever did it. It's
Wow.
too long. 50 turn game. Who would play Mario Party for 50 turns? It's ridiculous.
I wonder if we're gonna have to like stream that or something. So that'd be like our next marathon, our next challenge.
goodness.
I have Mario Party too.
I think it would at least take 2.5 hours, if not more.
Yeah, that's definitely a marathon. Mario Party 2 marathon. You heard it here first. Could be a future stream. 4-player Mario Party 2.
So,